Hey guys, so today's dilemma is to figure out where the antifreeze leak is coming from. I replaced the upper intake gasket not too long ago. That seems to be holding fine, but it's weird because it's wet up there, but it's not like dripping down. That I know of. But from the looks of everything, it's all underneath. I had this pumped up to 14 psi when it's supposed to be at 7, and as you can tell, it dropped all the way down to 4 psi, a little below, in less than 15 minutes, which is not a good thing, and I cannot go anywhere beyond 50 miles, if that, without losing antifreeze. As you guys can tell, I got antifreeze from the steering, right there, and all around. That's just oil and all that happy horse shit, but it's like all over underneath. So I gotta start by jacking up the car to get a better look underneath, see where everything may be coming from. But I am thinking it's got to be the lower intake gasket. Now, there's not many videos on this engine, so I figured, hey, why not make one? So for me, this is trial and error. So one way it's going to go back on is the same way you took it off, which is in reverse. So I'm just going to say it's going to be time consuming. If it's your first time, it's going to be my first time, which is going to be really time consuming. And you can see it's just splattered everywhere in there. It's a mess. I don't know if that's current or what. I don't know if that's new, but that's something I want to look at. I remember a few weeks ago I had to retighten down these two bolts that hold down the upper intake right here because they were loose. Now I don't know how the other ones are all around it, but as you can tell, how much shit you have to take out to get to those other bolts, the fuel rail and all that. And don't forget the fuel lines. I have a special tool for the fuel lines I want to show you guys. I'm gonna have to take those off anyway. Everything from here down, it's got to get taken off. It could even be as simple as the water pump from behind or whatever from the bottom. I don't know. So I gotta jack the car up to see where it may be coming from. Alright, one thing I do want to say is I got this jack from Harbor Freight. It's a 3-ton rapid jack. Now, it was $100. I got it on sale with coupon, but as you guys can tell, one pump, it's already up. And just keep going. And I'm not even doing that big of a pump, and it's going really high, which is great. I can't get the jack under the nose because, well, as you guys can tell underneath, it's lowered, so I can't fit it underneath, so I'm gonna have to jack it up from the sides underneath on the frame, because to jack it up where I would normally do it before I lowered it is a little under in there to get it up in the center. So now I gotta jack it up by both sides. So I like to jack it up. It's hard to see, so I gotta put it under right there. It's a little bent in. I'm not a fan of that, but it's one of the only spots I can go to. So I'm gonna put the jack under there and start jacking it up. Secured under there. And always remember, you want to use jack stands. Always. Because you never know when the seals are gonna blow on a jack. Even if it's a new jack, you never know. You don't want to risk your life on it, on anything, so you use a jack stand. Which are those right there. So, let me get this up. Alright, so one thing I want to do is take off the wheel just to make life easier. Since I got it pretty far off the ground, I might just leave one side jacked up and then just look underneath, because as you guys can tell, that is all antifreeze residue, all scattered underneath the car. That's not oil. That's all antifreeze. So if I take this wheel off, which is in my way, I can get up into in here and alrighty, so I jacked up the one side. I might just leave it and just take off this wheel and leave it at that. But I just saw something, and it's dripping from the sway bar end link, so it's somewhere underneath the car. So I'm gonna start looking for that. Alrighty, so another thing I'd like to say is I got this from Harbor Freight too. It's impact. And let me say it does haul ass, 1,190 foot-pounds of torque if I'm correct. if I'm not, correct me, but this thing does haul ass. It's got forward reverse right here, and it is adjustable, but I still like using my torque sticks just in case. Even better is a torque wrench, but torque sticks make it a lot easier. Thing is, I also got these wonderful lugs. Needs a key, so I got to put that on too. So I'm gonna start by taking the wheel off. Another thing, I did put on a bigger end piece, more airflow, so that's pretty good. Alrighty, so I got the wheel off. By the way, these are really, really good tires. Got that. And just so you guys know what they are. Really stiff, really grippy, they're really good. They're pretty sure they're 115 a tire. I got them on sale, so I mean they're good. So alright, so I got the wheel off. Now I'm gonna somehow magically get to the other side where, let's zoom in, where it's leaking from, and it's dripping right there, and it's starting to make a small little puddle on the ground, but there's your start. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pump it up a little past 7 psi, probably up to 14 again, just to give me a little leeway to find out where it's leaking from. It's weird because the sway bar end link is right there, so I don't know why it's dripping from there. Yeah, see, it's starting to drip right there, but I don't know what's dripping there if the engine's over here, so I got to look at that. Alrighty, so I got it pumped up a little too much, but should get the job done. And now I'm gonna head underneath. Alrighty, so as you guys can tell, there's fresh antifreeze all over the place. It's dripping. Hang on, it's dripping everywhere actually. But it's hard to tell. I should have washed off the car thoroughly before doing this, so I knew better where it's coming from instead of falling drip by drip. So, and the shit just got on my arm. Hey guys, so long story short, I had to go back through the video that I was making because it had nothing to do with the lower intake that I am highly sure of, and I was putting in like because it was leaking over there, but truly after looking at it closer, it's all drenched in there from when I was dumping antifreeze. As you guys can tell, it's on top of the battery, it's underneath the battery, it's a whole mess, it's a whole shit show. When I took off the wheel, it was probably a good thing that I did, so I could at least get under the car and see where it's coming from. So as I am looking, I'm looking around the water pump, which I have taken out right here. I already got the new one from Napa. We got a really good service going on right there. I go to the one in Newton, but you know, I got that new seal, and I'm looking around here. Back to what I was saying. It's all drenched through here, all around, but when I mentioned that earlier, that it was damp, it is damp, but now I'm thinking it still could just be plain residue from before I fixed it because I didn't clean it out. So I'm trying to debunk everything that I did. And the antifreeze that was, let this focus. Okay. It's not focusing, but okay, it's kind of focusing. The antifreeze that was right there from the steering was leaking on there, which is right by the water pump, and as you're going down the road, air hits the engine and goes around it and you know whatnot. Stay still. Goddamn. So yeah, so I think it's a water pump because it's like all in here, all around, on top of this, all around. So I think the seal went. Now the thing with the intake up here, I had to take that out because it was getting in the way. But as you guys can tell, there's some antifreeze passages going through here. So when I took off the gasket, it ripped. So I got another gasket for it. But in order to get to the water pump anyways, you have to take the throttle body off. Now the pulley's down there, it's all dirty down there, so I gotta clean it. But I used, which I'll show you guys when I put it back on, I use this, it's an impact, to get the pulley off, because if you try to use a ratchet, it's only gonna turn the pulley. So you want one of these impacts, which are relatively cheap for a tool, like, if you're not looking for a snap-on budget, these are good, and they're good homeowner use too. This was 70 bucks from Home Depot at the time when I got it. Not bad. These batteries are expensive. They're 100 a piece, but if you guys catch them on sale, it's 100 for the pair. So I used that to get the pulley off, and I will show you guys where the pulley attaches to. So you're just gonna place that here. I know it's a mess, but the pulley attaches to here on the outside. One thing I did notice, which you can't hear because I have the heater running. There we go. When I spun this one, it makes a little grinding sound too, so that was on its way out too, because the bearing's going. So it's probably a good thing that I got a whole new water pump relatively when I only needed a seal, but I'm like, hey, let me get the whole new water pump. So I did that, and also I took off the fuel lines thinking because it was a lower intake gasket, it truly wasn't. So all you gotta do is just push these on. It's a snap-in, except I just kind of lost the it's right here. This is just protector, seal, you know, all that. Just take that. This is how the fuel lines go. Just take it, push it, snaps in, boom, done. And I did use these tools. These are handy to get fuel lines off and some other things, so I got that. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put the water pump on. I got all this hooked up. I disconnected all the harnesses to get to it, and we'll see what happens from there. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start cleaning the old gasket stuff off and all. I got a special scraper for it. I hope it's in my toolbox. If not, it's in my, here it is. The thing is about these is be careful, because since it's soft metal, you can easily gouge it when you're just going at it. So you want to take your time. I'm going to use these wire brushes. They're brass because it's a softer metal versus steel, to just scrub it off, and you got a smaller brush to get into the little nooks and crannies in here, like up in here, because you can't fit that big brush in here. So you need a small brush for like up in here, and then the bigger brush for like all these areas. So I will do that and get back to you guys. Alrighty, so I scraped the gasket off all around the best I could. I got to get that little spot right there. And now I'm going to take one of the wire brushes. Well, I have to use both because of the different sizes and clearances. So I'm going to do that. Clean it out. Some brake parts cleaner. This one's empty, but that's what I use. It's strong. Rip. And now I got to get a new can. Alrighty, so I got the wire brush in there. Cleaned it out, scraped it a little bit there, but not terrible. I didn't engrave it. This little piece doesn't really want to come out, but my nails are slipping right off of it, so it's not gonna be that terrible on the gasket. One thing I did notice is that gasket was gasket material. This is got a rubber seal around it, and the gasket itself is aluminum. So this should really hold up, hopefully, and I hope that this is the problem right here. That's all I hope for. Okay, so I got the gasket on, I got the water pump. It's gonna fit like so. I cannot record as I'm putting this on because I need both hands, so I can put a bolt in, and as I gotta do that as I'm holding it. But there is a little thing down here to hold it on. So these wiring harnesses are in the way big time. So yeah, I need both hands to get the bolts in, at least the top, so I can get it in. Alright, so we're gonna spray paint it black, make it look fancy. Don't want to get my skin oils on it, it's already cleaned off. As you can tell, it looks not the best, so we're gonna spray paint it black. Alright, so use this. Metal, wood, plastic. Didn't get where the belt goes because you don't want that there, just did the face. So it'll look pretty well. So, you know, look pretty good. so everything's back together. Gonna see if there's any leakage. Hey guys, so a little update. So far, no smoke, no nothing. So it was the water pump. At first I thought it was the water intake gasket, but I'm like looking around, like I said earlier in the video, that it looked like residue around the water pump. So the bearing was going bad on the water pump too. And now it's back and running and it's fun. Stay tuned for more videos and like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching.